So, Paul, the theme for the OCon this year is Heroes of Production. So, I was wondering what your productive heroes are. The people that inspire you to work better, or the people that you admire for either their productive talent or the achievements they've made in academia or in the industry that you're passionate about. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So the first person that comes to mind is Lisa Van Dam, who is a person who created a her own school called the Van Dam Academy, which is in I think it's Pasadena, California, or it's somewhere thereabouts. And what I just think is so impressive about this is that I've thought about being a teacher before because that's one of the things I really love to do is teach people. And but the idea of actually creating your own school from scratch is just a really that's an incredibly ambitious project. And at some point in her life, she just decided that she was going to do that. So I just think that's a really incredible accomplishment. She's made it into a tremendous success, and that's what is so unique about it. Is that when I look at her blog and her videos, and she talks about the kinds of results she's able to achieve in the classroom, where students are just completely engrossed in whatever subject it is that they're learning and really enthused about it. It sounds like something off a different planet. It's like something I've never witnessed before or heard about. So congratulations to her. I just think that's an incredible achievement, and she's one of the people that I hold in my mind as someone I would love to aspire to be like. So the next person that I have in mind is I believe his name is pronounced Blake Scholl. He's the founder of Boom Technologies, which is a company that their goal is to create a supersonic uh, aircraft. I don't know if it's specifically for only transatlantic flights. I think it's supposed to be able to fly between like New York and LA as well. Um, and so they're still developing their aircraft, I believe, but I think they have come a long way since their creation, which I think was only a few years ago. And that's also just an incredible thing to think about doing. It's like when I was growing up, you know that there are people out there like Bill Gates and so on, but they're almost like these mythical figures. They're not really real. And then when you meet somebody and you find out like, oh, they went and did that. They're not like some different species or something. It's just another person. And like I could have done that if I, like applied myself or had the skill set that they acquired. And when you think about like, what are the odds that I could do something like that? Can I do that? And it just kind of blows me away. Like, wow, that's when you see someone like that that you know personally or you've met, it kind of brings them down to earth for you, and then you realize like, okay, you know, like it's not like there are different species,
It
like
grounds them.
gods. Sorry.
It grounds them.
Yes, agree. Yeah, exactly. So Blake Scholl's another person, and the last person I have on my list is Keith Weiner, who is he's an economist. And I think it was in 2008, with the whole financial crisis, that he decided that he wanted to protect himself from another situation like that. So he just decided to go off and get a PhD in economics, and now he's producing original ideas in the field of economics and writes for. He's written a lot of articles for Forbes. He's written a lot of articles for a website for it's like Swiss National Bank something something. And he's produced his own software which looks at which takes his ideas that he's come up with in economics and looks at the like spot and future price contracts for gold, and then like infers what he calls is like a supply and demand analysis for the price of gold. So he's got a lot of interesting and original ideas in economics. I'm layman when it comes to economics, so they they make sense to me as far as I've like really struggled try to understand them. But I just think it's really cool that he just decided to go off into this field. He was a software engineer, and then he went off and got a PhD in economics, and started producing original ideas in the field. So I think that's pretty cool. So those are my three people.
Right. So, what are the things that you tend to think of when you try and think of productive heroes or the heroes that you aspire to be like?
Well, so there's the long-term commitment, right? Like, one of the things that I'm really good at getting passionate about a project and like diving into it and like learning all kinds of stuff, but I tend to peter out. Like I get distracted and the project kind of like gets on the shelf, and then like I have a hard time like staying dedicated to a project for long periods of time. So if there's like a skill that, if I could choose from all the different skills that are out there, that would be pretty high on my list. Is that I would like to get better at like being in a project for the long haul. I think that's not something that comes naturally. I don't know if this is like I'm less than average on this trait, or I think it maybe is typical. That a lot of people try to start these projects that they have these grand visions for them, but then somewhere along the way things get in the way, or there's the planning fallacy where you think, oh, I can get this done in like 2 months, and it's actually like a 6-month project or something. So and all the things I just described, I mean, those are like particularly like boom technology. Like there's no way that you could just set out to do that and not be in it for the long haul. Like you have to. That's an incredibly ambitious project. So that's probably one of the top traits that comes to my mind when I think about these people.
Okay, great. Thanks for talking to us, Paul. Thank you for answering our questions.
Yeah, you're welcome.